So, story of a cross is the story of the solo man. It's the story of Samson. It's the story of a son, a father, and a mother. But even more so, it's the story of orphanage. It's a story of adoption. It's the story of loving things that aren't technically your own. From a father's point of view, from the mother's point of view, and from everyone else's point of view that was involved. And what was being punished in a way that was common law for them that moment. Did not deserve, according to the majority, to die. So, the mother hung on that cross. The father hung on the cross. The witnesses hung on the cross. The son hung on the cross. All future mothers, the daughter, hung on the cross. All future fathers hung on the cross to learn to raise something not your own. That seed is innocence. That seed was envied and challenged by those who were challenging themselves to find something in it wrong. They could not. They did not. And because of that, we all hung on the cross. And that's the spirit of Rome that died. Though it did not die immediately, it's been a slow grind to halt that progress. So, everyone involved has been hanging on that cross to this day. Some of you still are. The only one that ever could have done that was God, because this individual was beaten beyond recognition and did not question anything. He did not fight back at this moment, though that being had been angry with you. It finally gave up fighting you and gave in. And at the end of it, instead of getting angry and cursing you or doing what most people have done, because they don't understand themselves the way it does. Well, because of it and the way it understands us now, and always has, at that moment, that is what saved you all. It let go and did not fight you because it had enough information to tell you that. Fighting is not the answer. With peace, you have to have the words for a collective. Peace. It has to be peaceable for all of us. And the only place we found that wasn't persecuting you for what you know. If you have peace and they're requiring you to talk, that is the same insurrection of the thought that destroyed the peace in the first place. You do not test it. It has nothing to prove. Even if it doesn't do anything, even if it just sits there, it doesn't float, raise the dead, walk on water, hold storms, or just downright make you all look like fools. Well, that's God. So, if someone speaks and you're ill with it, that's the reason it died. Guaranteed. So, when someone speaks and it hurts you, that's a good thing. Especially if they're not talking to you directly. I will tell you what I know about the cross and what hung there that day. It knew itself well enough to walk away, to not strike back. It knew you well enough to know it was fighting itself if it did. It knew you well enough to know what it was doing for every man, woman, child, being, ever, anything in creation. It did that for you, for that, for the breath that it breathes. It did that. And that moment is what saved us all. It did not challenge you to the death. It was death, and it knew to give you life. It had to show you what it meant to forfeit. Though it had the right, it could have killed you all. It's God. It did not. That's love. That's what saved you. That's why. And that's the very same love that I give you today. Yeah, will I die? Of course. How will I die? I don't know. But one day, I will taste the blade of truth. I already have its source. I wield it with my heart. And that is the wisdom, which is water in this desert storm, where the truth is so scarce. One drop of that love will save you from that death forever. You will be satiated. You will never thirst again. That wisdom saved you as a man, woman, child, future father, future mother, saved the great mother, saved the great father, and its creators. And that source creation is the one that did it. I dare say it's still not speaking to us to this moment. So if we're speaking, you're already out of form. To be with good form means you don't have to say anything at all. To be with bad form means they're going to try to force you to do that. To be with great form means you know better than to respond. To be with the greatest form means you did not. That's what I know. That's the story of resurrection. Because that story never dies. That is the Phoenix Flame, the idea. And because of that, it lives. We live. I live. You live. They live. That lives. It lives. The story never dies. The interpretation is your own. So that story is one story strong. No matter how many times you divide it up, no matter which way you spin it, that version will always be mine, the way I know it, personally. I hope you understand it personally that way as well. I love you.